In this video, I'll talk about how to file a successful asylum case, and I'll talk about new rule surrounding employment authorization after filing for asylum. Hello, my name is Bijoux.ngwanda. I am an immigration attorney in the DC metropolitan area. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. If you're not new, welcome back. So let's just get right into it. Asylum, okay? So what is the basic requirements? What is it that you have to do in order to be successful in your application for asylum? Number one, you have to be present in the United States, physical presence in the United States. You cannot apply for asylum by being in your hometown. So basically you can't just be, let's say, in the DRC and decide to apply for asylum. It doesn't work like that. You have to physically be present in the United States. That's just number one, okay? Let's say you're here, you're physically present in the United States. And when should you apply for asylum? You should apply for asylum within a year of your physical presence in the United States. Of course, there is an exception to it when circumstances surrounding your presence in the United States didn't allow you to apply for asylum within 1 year. So in order to know that, and in order to establish whether the facts surrounding your circumstances in the United States did not allow you to apply for asylum within 1 year, please call our office. We'll be able to access your case. We'll be able to elaborate more on whether you as an individual, the facts surrounding your case really fit to that specific exception. But other than that, within 1 year of your physical presence in the United States, you should file for asylum. And as far as employment court, or what we call employment authorization after filing for asylum is concerned, right now the new rule says that you have to wait for 1 full year, 365 days after filing for asylum in order for you to be qualified to apply for a work permit. I know this is really hard because you flew from your country, actually you run away, and you're here in the United States, you want to actually apply for asylum, and then you did apply for asylum, but you cannot work legally because you have to wait for a full year in order for you to actually be able to get your work permit. This is really hard. But don't get this desperate, or don't be in despair, because there are a lot of organizations that can actually help you, non-profit organizations that can actually help you find a job and work while you still, your lawyers or yourself are still waiting for your asylum application to take it full course. So if you want to know more about those type of organizations that can help you, call our office and or email me. I'll be able to help you and direct you to the good organization, and they'll be able to help you in that effort of finding a job while you're waiting for your full asylum case to take its course, okay? Don't hesitate to call us. We're here to help. So number one, we established that. So number two, what is the other element? So you're here in the United States, okay, that's not it. Because remember that asylum is actually a favor from the government, from the US government to you. They are not obligated to give it to you, but they can give it to you if you establish a well-founded fear of persecution. Okay? You have to be able to establish that in order to convince the US government to give you asylum in basically a legal status in their country. You have to be able to establish that. And the law says that the fear has to be well founded and at least one central reason for the persecution will be race, religion, nationality, membership in a particular social group, or political opinion. And that's why you are unable to go back home, because you're so afraid that because of your class belonging to a specific class of people, you are so afraid to go back home because you'll be persecuted. So you have to be able to establish that. So this point, that's where people really get confused, because not just people get confused, but people get a lot of their applications get rejected because, say that the US Department of State has already established, let's say you get in the United States and then you file for an asylum case and you're waiting for a response from the USCIS, and then you go to the US Department of State. They've already established that the conditions of the country that you are coming from or you came from have improved. So they're no, let's say there, it says there that they're no longer discriminating against race or religion or nationality, depending on what the basics of your application were. So let's say the country that the US Department of State they had already established that your country of origin has no longer it's no longer on the list in terms of discrimination, and the conditions have improved. So, and now they're denying your case. What are you going to do? Because you have to be able to establish past, that's when you have to be able to establish past persecution, okay? You have to be able to establish that, because even though the conditions of your country have improved, you are still in fear, because the case can be moot, or the controversy surrounding the case can be moot, the issues surrounding the case can be moot, but you are still afraid for repetition. So things can repeat themselves. So sometimes history repeats itself, and sometimes things can happen again. So that's where you have to be able, and say you have an attorney or you have a lawyer, try to establish past persecution. It's very important that you establish past persecution, because case can be moot, situations can improve. US Department of State may declare that the country is no longer on that list of persecutions, or conditions have improved. However, you are still afraid based on past persecution, based on repetition of the things that were moot. They can repeat themselves, okay? I think I make myself clear. So those cases can get complicated. That's why we strongly advise that you call our office in order for us to be able to help you establish past persecution. It's so important that you establish that, because along the way, your country condition can improve. So what are you going to do if you're still in fear? Because we already said that the fear is well-founded. So if you're still in fear, even though the country conditions have improved, you are not obligated to go back. So that's why you have to establish past persecution. Really, it's so important that your lawyer address that in your case, okay? So, and let's talk about who is not eligible to apply for asylum, okay? Not everybody can apply for asylum. As we talked about, we said that you have to be physically present in the United States. You have to be able to establish a well-founded fear of persecution, and you have to talk about past persecution. And even when the case becomes moot, you still your if you did establish past persecution, you will be able to win your case. So, but let's talk about who's actually eligible, because not everyone can actually apply. So, who is barred? Okay, we have here an alien who can be safely removed to another country pursuant to an agreement is not eligible for asylum in the United States. Simply means that you were in your country and you flew to a different country prior to coming to the United States, and you flew safely, and finally you got here. So you are not qualified. The simple fact that you were able to actually be safely removed to another country. Okay? So the other point is an alien is not eligible for asylum if she did not apply within a year. We talked about it. It has to be within a year unless you fit the exception. And another one is that if you have been convicted for a particular serious crime. Another one, if you are a threat to the United States, you are not qualified. So there are a lot of exceptions to it, but it's case by case basis. That's why we strongly advise that you call our office so we can actually dissect your case and look at the facts surrounding your case and make an informed decision based on what the information that you will provide to us. Okay, so let's talk about what are you going to do after your case, after approval of the asylum application. What are you going to do? So now let's say that you apply for asylum, you get your asylum approved, and you have family home. What are you going to do? The first thing is, like, what do you have to do? You adjust for your status within 1 year. You got your asylum today, you wait for the following year. At this time, exact time, you apply for adjustment of status. That's when you get your green card. And then you are entitled to work, you get your employment authorization, and then you might be granted advance parole, so you can travel outside of the United States. Those are applications you can still file with us. And then you can bring your family. That's when we get into it and we apply for family petitions, and then you bring your family. That's actually after the facts. But the important thing is to be able to establish a well-founded fear of persecution. Once that is established, the case will be approved. Okay? And then, so that's it for today. Basically, I just wanted to talk about asylum and what exactly is asylum and how can you apply, who's eligible, who's not, how can you establish a well-founded fear of persecution, and why is it so important that you establish past persecution in your case. Again, my name is Bijoux.ngwandaesq. I am an immigration attorney in the DC metropolitan area, and I do work with individuals across the country and around the world because we deal with immigration laws. Please subscribe, share this video, give us a thumbs up so that YouTube can share this video with people who actually need to hear those type of information. Okay, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye bye.